Hey, almost fans. It's that time of year again when we get to slow down, look back, and celebrate everything that this past wild, beautiful, sports filled year gave us. From the conversations that left us inspired to the interviews that had us laughing so hard our faces hurt, it has been a ride. So today's episode is a little different. We're taking you behind the scenes and sharing some of our favorite moments, ones that stuck with us, surprised us, cracked us up, or made us think about sports in a whole new way. We talked to so many incredible athletes, coaches, and game changers this year, and we learned just as much from the unexpected little moments as we did from the big ones. So get settled in, grab your beverage of choice, and come reminisce with us. This is our 2025 highlight reel, and we're so grateful you're here for it. Have you ever wondered why people get so hyped about their favorite sports teams? Well, it turns out it's not just about the game. It's about the community. My name is Taryn.
And I'm Amber. Welcome to Almost Fans, the sports podcast that's fun, a little bit educational, and will give you plenty to say when you're trying to keep up with those die-hard sports fans in your life.
All right, Amber, I am so excited for this episode because as you have been as well, we've been thinking back on this first year of our podcast and all the different things we've done and heard and just things that have happened along the way that we would have probably never expected. But we just had a couple of prompts that we wanted to, reminisce and think about what we had for our year and what our favorite moments were. So some personal behind the mic moments. What was a moment where you were nervous, but you just ended up loving it?
Episode number 1. We were so nervous.
So nervous.
I don't remember what I was wearing, but I'm sure I sweated through all of it. I just as you were queuing up and I was thinking about episode number 1, I had to take off my socks because, I get so nervous and then I just sweat. But yeah, episode 1, I was so nervous for. And then after it was over, I think there was a moment where we looked at each other and said some version of oh my gosh, that was so fun. How long until we can do that all over again? But what I remember from episode 1 is the shock on your face when I asked you live about your dating life. I had held it in for weeks because you had told me about some guy I think that you had
the
met
date that
online.
I had went on, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you were kind of feeling so about it. And I waited until live. I had the perfect segue and asked you about it. And your face and you turned red and it was amazing. Yeah, episode number 1 was so fun.
The funniest part about that was I had talked to that guy about the podcast. So I was so worried that maybe he'd listen. And so I was trying desperately to not give away too many details because I knew that by the time the podcast came out, it would have been a long enough time that it could have been someone else, but I'm trying not to give away any too many descriptive details. This person probably, I think, still follows me on social media. So at any point could have heard that. I know. Who knows? But yeah, I really was not expecting to say that now. Gosh, I mean, I feel like every third person asked me about my dating life on this this podcast.
It's good for you. It keeps you on your toes.
It really does. Now I'm just ready for it. I've always got something ready to talk about.
Okay, what was a nervous moment for you?
Yeah, for me, and this is a little behind the scenes inside baseball, so may say, and pun intended, was so the first time that I got a reply from someone famous on social media, and it was Jenny Kavnar, and that was when you did a She's Got Game on Jenny, and we tagged her. I was just like, hey, what the heck? I'll just try and tag her on social media. What's the worst that could happen? And she replied to me. I was actually looking yesterday through our messages on social media, so in case anyone's wondering, yeah, it's me on social media. In case you haven't picked that up from all this.
Behind the curtain.
It's never Amber.
Never me.
But yeah, she had replied to my tagging her with just a heart. She gave me a purple heart. And I was like, oh my gosh, Amber, Jenny replied to my thing. And you were like, ask her if she'll be on the podcast. So I was freaking out. I was freaking out. Yes, but she said yes. So that was so cool.
She's to this day one of my favorite interviews.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that was a perfect segue from social media into our next prompt or next topic today. What's the best, and you should have an arsenal of this. I struggled with this one, but you should have an arsenal. What's the best message or DM or note that we've ever received from a listener, in your opinion?
Well, I'm a little biased on this one because my favorite listener, her name is Sharon. She's like 73, 72 years old. She's an avid listener. She will listen to this and you heard it right here. You're my favorite listener, Sharon. I said, "Hey, I would love it if you sent me like," so this is kind of me like reaching, but I was like, "Give us a testimonial or like send us, whatever." So she sent me this text and I'll just read it for you. Okay. Oh, she says, "I'm 72 and I have only watched and listened to one sport, one team, the Chicago Cubs." And for those of you who aren't positive who this is Dugan's mother. "I don't watch or care about any other sport, basketball, football, soccer, you name it. I don't care until I started listening to Almost Fans. I listened to my first podcast a few months ago and I've been listening to it ever since. I've discovered that I love to know the hows and whys of these sports. And I usually have follow-up questions to Taryn that I text or talk about whenever I see her. I live in a world, as we all do, where sports is king. And now I know at least a little bit of what everybody's talking about. And for the first time, find it interesting. I still don't want to watch any of it." She's like, "I don't care. Don't really want to watch it, except for the Cubs, of course. But I do feel as though this hidden world has been opened up to me. And for the first time, I enjoy all the talk about it. One more thing, my son, Dugan, is especially grateful for this podcast. We've always been close, but for this new thing of talking about sports has definitely taken our relationship to a new level. Thank you, Almost Fans." I
Goosebumps.
know.
I love that. Like, boil that down, and at the soul of it is exactly why we do this podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 100%. 100%. The other response I have to that is our friend Isaac. Shout out. We work with him. And I
Isaac.
mean, every time Isaac listens to a podcast, which I think he's kind of a sporadic listener, he sends us some kind of a message like, "What in the world?" It's like so funny. So I always love those kind of responses to like people who are into it and they care and they hear about our lives or about our opinions.
Yeah.
Do you have anything?
The only thing I've got, it made me laugh so hard right when we were starting out in last January. And it was, you saw this too. I think it came from you. I don't remember where you received it, maybe through
Mhm.
Instagram. But this person said, I don't know who it was, said, "OMG, the trailer is hilarious for me. Am I finally going to like football?" In all caps. "Am I going to make it out of the food queue at the Super Bowl party? Plus, in all caps, have a seat before and after the commercials and all those games that happen before the quote unquote big game. If I join a fantasy team because of this, I'm going to be pissed. LOL."
I thought that was your friend Lauren who said that.
No, no, I don't know who that was. It was
That's so
some
funny.
review that you had, I think on Instagram. I don't know that we ever
Oh
really knew who the
my
person was.
gosh.
But yeah, I mean, so like Sharon and then this random person, and equal sort of measures are, what we're going for. We're going for the connection, the community that Sharon found. We're also going for the just being able to feel like part of the crew and understanding, the chit chat, right when you hop on a virtual meeting at work about whatever happened over the
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Bring the warmth wherever you go with Lululemon's new collection of puffer jackets and vests, designed to keep you cozy without weighing you down. From featherweight 900 downfill options to Wonder Puff 600 downfill outer layers, each piece delivers that perfect balance of warmth, comfort, and effortless style. The water resistant fabric feels light as a cloud, so you can move easily whether you're heading to the gym, running errands, or exploring outdoors. These puffers prove that staying warm doesn't mean sacrificing performance or polish. Click the link in our show notes to shop puffers and other products at lululemon.com. And when you shop through that link, we earn a small commission. So thanks for supporting our show.
All right, that is also a good lead into our next question, which is the moment we laugh the hardest. And I'm going to start because I have never, and you're probably going to have the same answer as me, but
I
I
think we
have to
probably have the
say it
same.
because
Yeah.
I have never laughed harder than when Amber told Jake Fergus that his mom says he's fast.
Have you guys seen those people that take destination trips to draft? They like go to
Yes.
Hawaii with all the boys
Yes.
to draft.
Are you serious?
It's so extra.
It's insane. They do like a
Oh
40-yard
my
dash on
god.
the beach to see what the draft order is.
That's actually amazing. We should do that in the office.
That sounds
I do
so
not want to
fun.
embarrass myself.
Jake, you're fast. Your mom says you're fast.
What?
Yeah.
Your mom says you're fast.
I am
That
definitely
was your
not
dad,
fast.
baby. Yeah. One of them was like, one
There
of
is
them,
nobody has ever
no,
once
listen,
claimed I'm a fast human.
listen. One of your parents was like, stop laughing. One of your parents was like, he might not look it, but he's actually really a fast runner.
That's just not true.
I've never seen him get that indignant. I mean, you would have thought I had, laid out the most terrible insult. Taryn and I, I don't know
To this
I
day,
don't
we
know the
talk about
last
it.
time that I laughed that hard.
But the funny part is, like, people didn't get to hear our post that story, which was that we realized what Amber really heard was Jake's dad talking about how far Jake can drive a golf ball.
Yeah. I mean,
Close.
just a little bit different. And when we told Jake that the next day or a couple days later, he was sarcastic and he said, I told you my mom would never say that about me.
So funny. I
don't
literally
remember
can't.
the last time I laughed that hard.
Another moment, though, that I still to this day, like, I have it pinned on our social media. So if you're on our social media, go to it, is when I did the quiz on NFL football coaches. I like showed you a picture of an NFL football coach and you tried to guess like their name and then what. Originally it was supposed to be just like what team they coached.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'll give you extra points if you can guess what their name is or whatever. And I showed you. I mean, first of all, Amber was terrible at it, by the way.
Terrible.
She's horrible
I think
at
I
it.
got one right.
And so but the very last one, I was like, you're never going to get this. And I'm already laughing. And I put up this picture of Mike McDaniel, which is the Miami Dolphins head coach. If you don't know who he is, Google him. And Amber's first response was, that is not a football coach.
It looked like, you know what I realized later? He looks more like a 7th grade geology teacher than a football
100%.
coach.
100%.
I mean, and then just a week or so ago, I don't remember when it was, the Dolphins were on TV and Mike McDaniels was being interviewed. And I glanced up at the screen just for 1 second. I think Erin Andrews was interviewing him. And I remember thinking just for a split second, why is Erin Andrews interviewing an intern? She's better than that. And it all calculated all at once. And then my eyes got big and I thought, oh my gosh, that's Mike McDaniels. I have to text Taryn right now because I still have that reaction to him. He still looks like a geology teacher to me.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I'll never forget it. It's so funny to me.
That was a good one. I loved those quizzes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's a moment where we laughed the hardest. Tell me who surprised you the most. Which guest?
I loved having on former Detroit Lions cheerleader and my friend, Nicole Moffitt. Her just like insight and her poise, just like how she talks and how, like the way she speaks about like her experience and her just everything. I was in growing up with her, right? So just and like we've lived apart for forever, probably 10, 20 years at this point. And yeah, I don't know. It was just super fun having her on. I just really, really enjoyed that episode.
I loved there was a through line in her interview, and it was this vibe of being open to anything, which I love being uncomfortable and I love taking risks. But there were even some things that she was describing that made me a little
Itchy.
like itchy, exactly, a little twitchy. So it was so inspiring. I mean, we're inspired by so many of our guests on a regular basis, it seems.
For sure.
But it was so inspiring to hear her talk about all of these career pivots into totally unknown arenas that she's taken in her life. Yeah, that was a super fascinating interview.
Yeah.
Okay, the guest who surprised me the most was Hallie Ledbetter. You know, Taryn, 2025 was my year of golf. I got really into it, super obsessed with it. And even now, when I think about golf and when I think about a couple of different things, okay, more things than I think maybe in my life, I love being again in uncomfortable situations, especially in male dominated environments.
Yeah.
And I mean, in our day job, you and I both find ourselves you sort of in that space pretty often. And then learning to golf was kind of that for me as well. That's a male dominated sport. And when we interviewed Hallie, I was just surprised by how much she really hit me. I mean, her message. Okay, so Hallie, media personality. You'll find her at the Golf Digest, CBS Sports, but most often on Instagram with really hilarious content. And she's a golfer, she works in golf, she's a woman, she's super talented, and she's made it her mission to use humor to kind of chip away at some of those stereotypes, chip away at some of the obstacles that are thrown in the way of women being more included in golf. Listeners, if you haven't checked out the Other Foot Country Club, you have to check it out. It's basically turning golf opposite. So it's a women's golf club from the experience of a man. So he's getting catcalled. He's in the pro shop, and there's one measly rack with really gross old clothing. The locker room is a half mile away in the third floor, and it's covered in cobwebs. And anyway, it was just like a really interesting, view. But she uses her platform to make golf more approachable for more people.
Yeah.
And I knew that going into the interview, but with her kind of diving into a little bit more and exactly her strategy behind it was surprising to me. And I now adore her. And when I am on Instagram, which Taryn knows is not very often, she usually pops up on my feed and I laugh really hard at all of her stuff.
Yeah. It was really cool to get to chat with her after that podcast too, because she gave us a little insider information that she was going to be dropping her little protein ball, like sleeves basically. So like snacks that are actually healthy for people who are out on golf courses. So she had told us that was happening. That has since launched. So I am not giving away any details here, but yeah. So she was like, yeah, I'll tell you guys about it. It just, like obviously can't say anything, but so it was cool. I felt like she was one of our friends. She still will reply to some things on social media occasionally.
Love her.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. For this one, the episode where we went off the rails in the best way.
I wonder if we're going to match again.
Okay, you go first.
Okay, where Jake Fergs called you stout. I'm just laughing at Jake's face. He's like, Amber, you're an idiot.
No, I'm not. I'm like, I'm thinking about you two just lining up at Oklahoma drill, you two against each other.
Let's go. Who would win, Jake?
I mean, Taryn.
Taryn, without a doubt.
Taryn. Low man always wins. Taryn's winning.
I'm like literally 1 inch shorter than Amber.
I know, but I think you could get lower, and I think you're got more power in the legs.
Yes, I definitely am built a little bit more strong. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Stout. Strong.
Yeah. You just call me stout.
Well, I mean, stouter than Amber.
Jake, a word you should never apply to
Well, not
women.
stout, but like that's a compliment in football terms.
I cannot wait for this to air. This is unhinged. Oh, I forgot about that.
How could you?
Blocked it out.
We must have really gotten off the rails, like
we
deep
did.
off the rails on this topic. And we both went, no, you cannot call a woman that. And it opened up a whole conversation about what sort of alternative you could use to achieve the same purpose as it applies to a woman. I still believe you just got to not touch that.
Just stay far, far away.
Like, what? Jake.
I honestly, if there's anyone who's stout, it is that man. But you know
That's
what?
true.
We're not gonna call him out like that. We're not gonna do that. Yeah, exactly. I was thinking about the time when Jake Simmons asked me about my quick trip experience, my favorite snacks, and then we went down a full rabbit hole of me like someone literally texted me and goes, the first 13 minutes of your podcast was you talking about your dating life.
Taryn, what about you? What's your quick trip pick?
Honestly, I was just there the other day, and the only thing I wanted at that store was this really hot guy that was in there, and I
Oh,
ran out so fast. My initial, why am I this way? Like, I see a hot man, my initial reaction is to run as fast as I can away.
We need to change that, please.
I have committed after that day. So thanks for bringing this up, Jake. I really appreciate you bringing this up so that I could talk about this. After that day, I decided that I'm no longer going to wait for men to ask me out because they won't.
no,
They're not going
we're
to.
skaters.
So guess what I'm going to do? I'm just going to start asking men out. Guy from Quick Trip, man, if I was 2 weeks older, I would have asked you out.
I think that might be the most flattering. Like if I was a guy, especially at a quick trip, I would be so flattered.
That's what the Almost fans ask for, is Taryn's dating life.
I know. I was like, yeah, I don't know how we got so deep into women asking men out. And
Yeah.
I mean, have since had many conversations with both Jakes about this, and they're so funny about it. Like, they're like, literally, you could be a troll and you ask me out, and like, we would say yes because that's so flattering. I'm like, oh, well, that's not really that helpful.
First off, you're not a troll. Second off, have you tried it? Have you? No.
I haven't, because I honestly, like, I think part of it is like putting yourself in situations where you see people like that that you're like interested in. And honestly, I haven't. Like, it's not even like I've had like oh, could that be someone? I haven't seen anybody that I'm like, but it's hard to judge someone because you're like, but are they too young? But are they this? Are they, you know what I mean? It's just like there's too many things to think about. Yeah, there's too many things to think about. And like a split second where you have to like make a decision whether or not you're going to ask them out or not. I guess I got to put myself in more situations where I see men.
Yeah.
Just don't see them.
Just do it anyway. He might be too young. He might be too old. I don't think that's a ring. I'm not really sure which finger that is. Go for it.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, do think fun fact, I did see a good-looking guy at that fundraiser that I went to for work. He did have a ring on, like very clearly. But like I was, we were chatting about something, and then I didn't see the ring the first time. So then I was like, this could be it. But then I ended up walking past him a little bit later, and I was like, definitely a ring. So needless to say, I did not.
Okay, glad you didn't go for that
man
one.
out. Yeah. The other one that I was thinking about that I was crying, laughing, thinking about was, and I had to go back and rewatch this clip because it was on social media and it made me laugh so hard. We talked about this the other day, was you teaching me about horse racing and the horse mating sheds that are padded to protect joints. It was in shock.
Let me tell you, retired stallions, you did really well, maybe in a Triple Crown race, maybe in the Breeders' Cup, maybe in like a local, who knows? You did well in some races. A lot of those top stallions then go to breeding farms where they live a very pampered life. They've got one job and one job only. And the emphasis is
do the deed.
One job, man, just one job. Emphasis is to take care of these horses as though they are gold. There is no humans who are riding these horses. They are chilled out. They are fed well. They are every one of their needs is met. Their daily environment is very controlled. They have specialized handlers, carefully planned breeding sessions.
Oh,
some of the best stallions might even breed 2 or even 3 mares during a day during their peak breeding season. Yeah. They undergo regular, I mean, it's not all like fun here because they also undergo regular evaluations to maintain their fertility and their stamina. So even these breeding stallions come with, like succession rates and stats and things. Okay, can I make you just a little bit more uncomfortable and describe the breeding sheds? So the breeding sheds are equipped very strategically and carefully. There's usually a cushy floor to make sure that nobody gets hurt while they're standing on 2 legs, to protect the joints of the animals. There are sometimes some padded benches for the mare to rest her head if she gets tired. It's truly impressive. Like these Taj Mahal breeding sheds. I remember you got quiet. I was picturing I was going to put this out there, and I was waiting the whole episode. I couldn't wait to tell you about this information I had learned about these prize stallions who just chill and make babies. All like that's their only job. You eat some stuff and then you make some babies. So they have these, yeah. And I thought I was going to say this to you and describe it and have you laugh really hard, but you just got quiet. I think you put your head down.
I did. I put my head in my hands. I
Because it
literally
was
had
so
my head in my
uncomfortable.
hands. You called them Taj Mahal breeding sheds.
Yeah, that's basically, I mean, it's like built for, like if we had to talk about 50 Shades of Grey meets Kentucky Derby, that's where we're at with this. I forgot about that.
So funny.
Taj
funny.
Mahal breeding sheds.
Yeah.
Just like totally tricked out, maximize all the potential of that guy.
Yeah. That also just reminded me, I don't know why this one just popped into my head. And this is a totally behind the scenes of our recording and how I do the editing of the podcast. And we were talking to Jake Fergus the last time he was on, and we were like, yeah, whenever you are, you're getting ready to like stop what you're saying, just say like FS. What was it?
Swear word.
Yeah,
B.
whatever. We were like, and he did. And while I was editing, I like just took a picture of it and sent it to them. I was like, I have no other words. It's BALLS. Like that was the word. FS.
Yeah.
The F word, the S word, balls.
Yep.
Like,
yeah, it's from Love Actually.
Oh, it is.
From this like British musician. I know you got to watch that movie. I quote it way too often for you not to have seen it yet.
I'm like, right over my head.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, we said that to him teasingly, like,
like at the beginning,
podcast, but use that, if you want it to get bleep. I didn't think he actually would either.
And then he actually did it, and so I cut it out for the episode. But while I was editing, I had a good laugh.
We should not have been surprised.
No, I should not have been surprised.
This time of year can be a reminder of how much our bodies carry us through. The workouts, the work days, the injuries, and the everyday chaos. And if you're still dealing with pain or recovering from something, LSM Chiropractic is here to help you start the new year feeling stronger. Their team really does act like a recovery coach, combining chiropractic care, physical therapy, and advanced laser treatments to speed healing and reduce pain. Whether you want to get back in the game, back to your routine, or simply keep up with your kids, LSM can help you get there. Don't head into a new year feeling stuck. Book your appointment at lsmchiro.com and start feeling more like yourself again. Okay, your favorite hat trick segment.
Oh, this is so good. This one, till the day that I die, it will be the episode where we talked about our biggest pet peeves.
Same.
Literally fighting you to the death on a zipper merge.
My biggest pet peeve, the moment where I'm most likely to flip someone the bird, is when you're in a merge situation and there's one main lane that other people are merging into, and instead of merging, further back before the actual, like cutoff point, they zoom all the way ahead past all of us people following the rules, waiting our turn, and they merge at the fork. Before you say it, I actually did learn
the zipper merge.
That you're supposed to do that.
Yeah, I was about to call you straight
out.
That
is such a jerk thing to do.
No, it's not. Okay, it's not. Because it makes the most sense
rude.
For everybody to get all the way to the top and just merge in together. Otherwise, it's bottlenecks way back.
Nah, man, do it early. That makes it move faster.
But you're totally negating yourself. You're negating yourself because you're calling yourself a rule follower. And the rule is that you're supposed to zipper merge up at the end. So you're actually wrong.
My spirit cannot absorb anything that you're saying to me right now. It makes me so mad. Get in line earlier.
No, it's so you're causing a traffic jam further back because of that.
Okay, if there's like a stoplight or something, maybe. But if it's on a freeway, a highway, merge, just do it early.
I'm
so
going to counter
rude.
your
I
pet
hate
peeve
that.
with my pet peeve of that, which is not on my list, but which is when people put their car halfway into the other lane
I've
because they
totally
want to
done that.
stop me. You are going to cause an accident,
I've totally done
and
it, and I'm not
you
sorry.
have road rage.
I've done that, and I'm not sorry. Oh, every day driving
That
home
is
at
so wrong.
University of
You're so
Florida.
wrong.
Mm,
You need to figure that out because
mm.
you need to go to therapy. You need to reassess that because you're wrong.
Every time I experience a zipper merge in traffic, I think about you with equal parts humor and irritation.
Yeah, I know. Like the day that the podcast almost broke up because we were like
Was talking about a
fighting.
traffic pattern. It's true. That was early on, so thank goodness we could come back.
And honestly, Amber, like I have to say this, like one of the reasons why I wanted to start a podcast was because I wanted to be able to tell someone somewhere about all of my pet peeves.
An
I needed
ulterior
it to be
motive.
out in the world that I have these pet peeves, and I hate when people say 110%, and I
Yeah,
hate when
that's not a
people don't
thing.
put their carts away, and I can't remember what my other one was, but toilet paper. I think I said the toilet paper flipping over the wrong
Yeah.
direction. Anyways, I was like we have to do this because this is like I've been waiting for years. I've been waiting my whole life to be able to share with someone what my biggest pet peeves are.
I love that. I don't remember what
Oh,
my other ones were. I just remember like that
no, it didn't
one.
matter. It didn't matter
No,
because that one was so bad.
we were off the rails on that.
It was so bad. The other one though that I forgot about until I again was going through some old clips, super cool. It was our clip we talked about in a hat trick about athletes that we'd want to go get a drink with. And you said Alex Morgan, and we dove off the deep end on Alex and her body paint photo. Then I
Yeah.
tagged her in it on social media and she commented on it.
Okay, so body paint photo. She was in Sports Illustrated and she was butt naked but covered in paint. What was she painted?
It was just like a bikini, like over her. Like it was just
Okay.
like a painted on bikini, basically.
Painted on bikini. What did you say? Did you say like something about the temperature of the room?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about all the things like that could be going through her head, right? Like, obviously, so brave. Obviously, she's beautiful. Obviously, all kinds of stuff, like so much paint. And her comment was lots of paint. I was really hoping that she'd come on the podcast, but she didn't.
We tried. No dice. All right, Taryn, your favorite She's Got Game segment.
So it was hard for me to choose because I think Caitlin Clark it's by far to this day our most listened episode of any one of them, and probably strictly because her name was in the title of it. But and I loved that one. I think it was early on. I think it was probably in our first 3 episodes that we did that one, right?
I think it was episode 3.
Yeah. And so it was fun. It was just fun. I think it was like the first one where like I was able to kind of banter back and forth with it. Maybe I can't remember for sure, but I like that one. But I think my other favorite was Trinity Rodman because I learned so much about her. I obviously knew that she was Dennis Rodman's daughter, but I didn't know their story. Like I never took the time to like dig into their story and learn more about it. And since our podcast, I heard her interview, which I think you used a lot of information from the Call Her Daddy podcast.
Yeah.
So like just learning more about her was so interesting for me. I mean, we did so many of these and they were all amazing, but yeah, those 2 I think were the most fun.
Yeah. I love that. I had Caitlin Clark and in my notes, I had, is this too basic?
Yeah.
To say Caitlin Clark, but I feel like I was so excited to dive a little bit deeper into her story. And yes, because she's worked really hard, because she's very talented, because she, all these different great qualifications, but she stands out to me because what she has done to women's basketball single-handedly. Yes, I know there's a bunch of other really amazing players. Yes, I know a lot of people advocating, people watching women's sports. Yes, I know. And Caitlin Clark,
she was the fuel to that fire completely.
She was and continues to be the fuel. So I just hope that the WNBA now, women's basketball in general, and now the WNBA can figure out how to, and I think they're doing a good job, can figure out how to keep that fuel burning and make sure that she's not the only one carrying that torch.
Yeah.
Because one day, hopefully a very long time from now, she will retire or not be scoring as many points. The hype will dim a little bit. And so I hope that before that day happens, that women's basketball, gets lots of impact from her presence.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that was a really fun She's Got Game, because I could quiz you on stuff. I remember, quizzing you on a few things, and you knew a lot of answers. So it was a fun back and forth too.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I'll go next. Most inspiring answer from a guest.
Yeah, I think all these next few questions are kind of all lumped into like the same thing. So they could have basically all be interchangeable. But for me, this one was having on Carrie Becker and talking about when she became athletic director at Grand Valley State University.
So Carrie, you made history as the first woman AD at GVSU. What is one moment during your time in that role that maybe stands out as memorable, meaningful?
The moment I was named in 2016, I looked out into the room. At the back of the room, I saw a person standing there, Dr. Dana Monk. She was the assistant basketball coach at Saginaw Valley when I was a student. I wanted to be a copper firefighter. She had left Saginaw, became the basketball coach at a rival institution, Ferris State University. The head softball coach position came open there. She talked me into putting my resume in. I'm like, I never thought sports was a career path, and sport management wasn't a thing. And so that moment, I'm almost getting a little emotional. When I was named, I looked back and I thought, it's because of you that I'm here. And so when I think about my responsibility, I stood on her shoulders. She heaved me up on them. The people of the shoulders I've stood on, and honoring them, I need to give in a certain way that I can continue that and keep women and even young, I want to bring as many people into sports and athletics because too many people are leaving, but women in general. That was that moment also that I knew it wasn't just about me making history, but making history become the norm. When they're no longer talk about how special it is, then we've arrived.
I mean, she was my mentor in college, and I'm basically standing on her shoulders, and there's other women who are going to be standing on my shoulders, and like it's so amazing. And it gives me goosebumps just thinking about it, because I love her, and it was just an honor to have her on the podcast. But yeah, just thinking about the way women can inspire women to like do such amazing things. Like Carrie, first female athletic director at Grand Valley, and there's such a prominent Division II athletic program. She's just amazing, and everybody loves Carrie.
It was fun to watch the two of you interact, especially when we got down to like that, talking about mentors and how, women help other women along and show them the ropes and help them see and understand that they can be in that space too.
Yeah, she gave me so much opportunity that was just like unbridled trust, to like let me take on things that I should have never like had my hands on. But yeah, she was such a good mentor. She saw something in me that like I just really appreciated. So another one that I have, and I just is a quick one, but when we had Jenny Kavnar on, she had one quote, and it was like about how, because she's a play-by-play broadcaster and a play-by-play announcer for baseball, and there's just so few of them. She's the first ever full-time female, and she's like, people are like annoyed with women's voices, and she's like, oh, you don't like hearing women's voices on TV? Well, it's not stopping, so get used to it. And I was like, yes, queen.
I'm so humbled that I was the one chosen to kind of start this venture, but my warning to fans that like don't want to hear women is it's not stopping. There's women calling NBA games, and they're two very good friends of mine, and I'm so extremely proud of them. I'm so grateful for them and their friendships. And Lisa Byington's with the Bucks and Kate Scott's with the 76ers, and they've both been instrumental in me making a leap in baseball and in my own path. And I think there's so many avenues in sports you can point to women doing jobs that have never been done before. Like in 10 years, we're going to see there's a lot more coming through, and it's not really going to be a conversation. It's not going to sound that crazy and unique because there'll be a lot more to be heard.
Yes, girlfriend. Okay, that's a perfect segue, because my answer for this one was a quote from Jenny as well, but a different one. So she told a story about she said that they had traveled to San Diego for a series, which is her home turf. That's where she, got her start and everything. She said it was really comforting and warm being there because you get to see a lot of those faces that were there as your origin story. So she said that whenever they go back to San Diego, it's a special time. But here's the direct quote from her. She said, and I quote, and I'm heading to the bus, and this lady is calling my name. She's probably in her late 60s or early 70s. And I walked over and she grabbed both of my arms and she said, I just wanted to let you know that I've been waiting for 50 years to hear my voice in the game that I love. And Jenny goes on to say, I think that was pretty special because I'm so grateful to do what I do. And often I hear from parents about their little girls that they get to see someone like them and maybe have a chance to grow up and do something they never dreamed of. But to hear it from an older woman that maybe feels like she missed out or was born in a generation just a little bit too early to do what she loves, that's something I really hold dear to my heart. I'm doing this not just for the generations that are coming after me, but also for the people before me that didn't have the opportunity or the chance. And that I heard her tell that story in another podcast. So I asked her to tell it on our podcast too. And I still get goosebumps, because you do think about the next generations looking at women in sports and being inspired, but to also think about the generations ahead of us, to be inspiring those folks too, just gives it a whole nother layer, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Well, my next question answer is also a Jenny Kavanaugh quote. So let's just get to that one. People are always asking, what's it like to be a mom and to work a full-time job? But what's the question that you wish people would ask you?
I wish people would ask more, what do you hope your kids learn out of watching you work and be a mother when they're older? I hope when they're older, they'll realize I had an opportunity to do something for our family that was life-changing, but also to do something for an entire gender in sports that was going to be meaningful and be part of a meaningful conversation. And I hope they see that I had the courage to do that.
Let's just keep rolling.
Yeah, and this one is a moment that changed how we think about women's sports. And I have so much to this. I'm inspired by that because obviously I have a son and I'm like, I want him to see me be a strong and powerful and independent woman and to not be afraid of those women, right? Like, I think that this is not all men. Obviously, this is just a broad statement, but I think a lot of men are intimidated by a strong and powerful woman because, right, like the patriarchy, right? Like, we're not going to go down that road, but let's just say that. And, and I want my kid to be like, no, strong women make men stronger, right? Like, strong women like make the world better. And yeah, and I just hope that my son sees that, and I hope that her kids see that with her too. And I just, yeah. And the other part about this that like just irks me is that we had that clip up as a ad on our social media. So like we were, it was seeing eyes that are not our normal followers. I had so many men, like ignorant men, comment on that ad the most ignorant and disgusting things. Like, I had to hide so many comments, not because honestly, like, leaving those comments out would probably have benefited us more because it's more engagement, it's more, it's divisive, right? And we could have been the kind of show that's like, yeah, let's just make it like that. But I respect Jenny far too much to let that even be in the world, right? Like, these men that have these opinions and have these things to say about women and what they're doing, and like basically like the sarcastic clap of like, wow, you really did it, right? Like, that's not who I don't even need that in my world. Like, I don't want that in my world. So yeah, like I just got to see the really ugly side of that being on social media and seeing so many comments about that. And I just think it honestly fuels that fire in me to believe in that even more.
Yeah. Ick on one side and like applause on the other.
Yeah.
Applause for Jenny.
Yeah.
Ick for the haters.
Yeah. As we begin a fresh year and look ahead to what's next, it's the perfect moment to think about your career goals, the big dreams, the fresh starts, and the steps that actually get you there. CareerLink AI makes that part easier. It's like having a smart, supportive roadmap that helps you build new skills, gain confidence, and stand out in a crowded job market. More than 1 million people have already used CareerLink's tools to land roles they're excited about. So if you're ready to start the new year with momentum, click the link in our show notes and take the first step. It also kind of reminded me there was another moment that I had on here. I had two, and the other one was Kristen Slater in our professional soccer episode. And the way she said that her and her wife they just talk about like, what if they had the audacity of white men out there to just go for what they
Yes.
believed in, right? Like, so they could do so much more. And I'll never forget that, like that line, right? Like, if only.
If only we were so audacious
Mhm.
to go for our goals
Mhm.
every time
And
we
to
had
believe
one.
that we could do things that like mostly men are doing, you know?
Yeah. I just feel like I need to like roll around and all that for later on.
Yeah.
Later on.
Did you have one?
Yeah. So for me, a moment that changed how I think about women's sports, more related to advocacy. And we talked a lot, especially in the She's Got Game segments, about women who are doing cool stuff. One that stood out for me was Allison Felix. So her name is, I dare say, a household name, but one of the most decorated Olympians in track and field history. She was sponsored by Nike until she got pregnant, and then Nike slashed her endorsement pay dramatically because she got pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So she went on to be a really verbal, loud advocate for more maternal rights and maternal protections where it came to women athletes and especially endorsement deals. I don't know exactly what progress she made, but I know that she did make a difference in that realm. But her advocacy stretched in a lot of different directions. She also advocated for maternal health. So she actually testified at a U.S. House committee about the racial disparities in maternal mortality rates in the U.S. So basically, pregnant women of color face more serious health complications and even death as compared to other women.
Yeah.
So she's a really loud advocate for better support for moms of color, especially pregnant moms of color. So, yeah, she was, we talk so often about athletes who are using their platform for good, and I think she stands, to make an Olympic pun, she stands near the top of that platform or podium when it comes to really using her voice in a strong way to make a difference for other people.
Yeah, for sure. I love that.
Okay, a moment that made you proud of our podcast.
I think this is really just my like wrap up of all of this, which is generally getting to talk about things that we both feel passionately about. Some of the topics we talked about, we didn't feel passionately about, but we were interested in or wanted to learn more about. But being able to take some of these topics that we have and or have learned about and just bring them into like normal conversations, both in our personal lives between you and me and on the podcast, and just getting to share that with our little community. And hopefully, if there's one person out there that's opinion about women and in sports and or just the disparity of men and women, or the like, I don't know, I was also thinking about, you had talked about I don't remember what episode it was, but you were talking about this study. And I think this also, what it was when you were talking about Jenny Kavnar's She's Got Game. There was a research done about how, there is just this community of people who have always seen sports as gendered masculine, and they want to keep it gendered masculine. They like that they have this like level up of knowledge on women when it comes to sports, and they want to keep it that way. They don't want women to like get into their world, right? And gosh, that just infuriates me. It infuriates me to my core, and I love that we've been able to, hopefully, bring light to those things and or just open the door a little bit for women to get into those conversations.
Yeah.
What about you?
I feel like every one of these answers, I just need time to like soak things in. Okay. A moment that made me proud of this podcast was actually just a really recent episode with Dugan. It's our sports and culture episode. And in response to one of our questions to him, he answered in a way that basically had both you and me say something to the effect of, that is exactly why we started this podcast.
One of the weird powers of sports is just that it's a bonding agent for people that wouldn't have any other reason to be connected. So it's like a weird, like I said, I'm at the Cubs game and I've done this various places where it's just I'm hugging, high-fiving people I've never met before because we have this common joy over something silly and meaningless like sports. But it's just, not to get over weird about it, but I do think there's an element that taps into just the human need for connection and community, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
a really easy way to do that because there's no emotional risk, and
Mm.
there's just common interest, and it there's zero boundaries as far as the boundaries that people have created.
There's an element of sports that taps into the human need for connection
Yes.
and community.
Mhm.
And I think that less and less as time goes by, and hopefully we contribute to the lessening of this effect. It's somewhat of a gate kept thing, sports.
Mhm.
And I hope that people like a lot of our guests, a lot of the women, and the men that we've covered throughout our time are helping to make sports more accessible to more people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when he said that, when he talked about the importance of sports,
Yeah.
and on our podcast, which is exactly what we're trying to achieve, that made me really proud of the work that we've been doing.
Very cool.
Okay, favorite moment recording together. It's our last question.
That's so hard. It was so hard to pick one, so I couldn't. And it
Mm.
really, I just said, kind of like your first answer, I guess we'll just wrap it all back up in one big bow here because it was, I think, the NFL episode that we did first. I don't know if that was the first one that went out, but that was the one I think that we recorded first or close to it. And we were just so nervous and excited, and we got done and it just felt so real. Like we were like, we really did that. And then I remember pulling the on our system, they call them little magic clips, but like they just generate them automatically. And I remember like sending them back and forth to each other, being like, oh my gosh, we have a podcast.
It's real.
It's so fun.
I love that.
Yeah.
I feel like in the first 3 months, I had a moment like that almost every other day.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is a thing. Oh my gosh, now this.
Yeah.
There was so many firsts. Okay, so my answer to this, my favorite moment recording together is when we created the trailer for this
Oh,
podcast.
interesting.
59 seconds long. And how many iterations
Like 1
of that trailer?
billion.
1 billion iterations. We would tweak one word and then it was redundant and then this, and we didn't have the right tone at the end of the sentence. We were so
And still when I listen
so
back to it, I'm like, oh, we should have done this. I should have done that. Like I'm like, oh, it's actually kind of hard for me to listen to sometimes.
still critiquing it. I'm going to go back and listen now after this. But the reason why that was one of my favorite moments recording together, because we laughed so hard in other ways. We cried multiple times, and we said that
Yeah.
we were cutting onions, blah, blah.
Mhm.
Like there were so many moments, but that 1 minute, just going back to, Dugan's
Yeah.
comment and kind of Sharon's, comment, tying it all back together. We spent so long on that trailer
Mhm.
because we knew what we wanted,
Yeah.
and we wanted to make sure that people were going to like really feel what we were going for
Yeah.
based on that trailer.
Yeah.
The heart of what we were trying to achieve with this
Yeah.
once a week experience.
Yeah, and words are so hard. Words are so hard to like really express our true feelings. Like it's to sync it up. That's not the right word probably, but you know what I mean?
You're close.
Like
Yeah.
into 60 seconds or 59 seconds, right? Like that was so hard. Yeah. And we both
Mhm.
had strong feelings about things, and we both we're like, okay, we're going to have to learn to just let it go or just, whatever. And we had to like talk through it. Yeah. So, it's so funny.
I was just thinking, what else I was just reminiscing about is sitting on the couch watching, it must have been a football game, and texting back and forth with you about what we wanted our podcast to be about. And then sitting at, I don't remember, you were at a funeral and I was at the Badgers football game, and we were texting about the name of the podcast and how I had no idea
I was going to say
what
this.
the reference was in the name of our podcast, feet pics and whatnot.
She
I had no idea.
just gives
No
me this
idea.
idea, almost fans. And I'm like, that's hilarious. I love it. Like, because OnlyFans. And she's like, yeah. And like later I was like, do you know what that is? And you're like, no, I have no idea what that is. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's even funnier that you came
I
up
thought
with
I just
it.
had a really good idea
Yeah.
and that you really liked my idea. I had no idea the layers behind
Yeah.
it. No idea.
And I remember asking a couple friends like if they liked the name, and they were like, too much like OnlyFans. And I was like, that's the actual point. Like, that's the point. It's like
Yeah.
giving the exact opposite vibes.
Ironic, we'll say.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, so good. I love that. Like coming up with all the different things that we needed to get to where we are now. Oh, it's pretty crazy.
The photo shoots on Christmas Day.
Yes.
Randomly
against your white wall in your house.
My office with my husband and an iPhone.
And some sports balls from your kids.
Yep, some kid-size basketballs and footballs. My hockey helmet. I don't even.
A lot of Canva edits.
Oh man,
so good!
What a wild ride of a year it has been.
It has been. Thanks to all our sponsors for keeping up with us, and for all the every person who's listened and sent us messages and shared with their friends or came on as a guest.
Yeah, we've shared their story.
Yeah, we've really, really appreciated it. It's been really fun.
And that's a wrap on our year-end celebration. Thanks for hanging out with us, for listening, for sharing episodes, and for being part of the Almost Fans community. These moments were our favorites, but honestly, getting to connect with all of you every week is the real highlight. If something from the last year stuck with you, maybe it was an interview, a story, a moment, send us a DM or share it in your Instagram stories. We love seeing which conversations inspired you. Thanks again for joining us today and for being a part of our community in 2025.